Today is Monday, the 13th of July 2026, and it is a pleasant morning and a warm welcome to your program Good Morning, Leone, the program that always starts your day. I am Sheku Smiler.
And my name is Francis Bernard. A pleasant morning here at Broadcasting House, and you're welcome to start off a very brand new week. And today we start with our quote of the day, which is from Chinese philosopher Confucius, and it says, by three methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is the noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. We're coming up in the program this morning. We'll bring you updates on the ECOWAS summit under President Bio's leadership. And also in the program, Executive Director of Action Aid Sierra Leone shares insight into the organization's work and impact, particularly its inclusive and youth-focused programming. And the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security inspects 56 hectares rice farm cultivated by ETS Divine Rivers Agro Investments in Kono District. These stories, including your messages, comments, and views, which you can send to the number on your screen. And you can also go to our Facebook page, slbc.sl. This is Good Morning,
We are back, and the program you are watching is Good Morning, Sierra Leone, live from Broadcasting House, New England Video in Freetown. Now, as you have heard in the news, and it continues to be news, President Dr. Julius Maada Bio is set to host the 69th ordinary session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government in Sierra Leone, marking another significant milestone in the country's growing leadership role within the West African regional bloc. According to a statement issued by the Office of the Press Secretary at State House, the high-level summit will take place on 19th July 2026 at the newly constructed Julius Maada Bio International Conference Center in Lungi. President Bio, who currently serves as chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, will preside over the regional gathering. Ahead of the summit, Sierra Leone will host a series of statutory ECOWAS meetings in Freetown, bringing together ministers, senior ECOWAS officials, delegates, and development partners from across the region to deliberate on key issues affecting West Africa. The meeting will begin with the 39th meeting of the Administration and Finance Committee, which commenced, it commenced yesterday, and it is going to be there until the 14th of July 2026. This will be followed by the 56th ordinary session of the Mediation and Security Council at the ministerial level on the 15th July, alongside the Joint Mediation and Security Council meeting on the Compact of the Future. Well, in the studios to talk more on this is Augustine Bami Anthony, and he is from the Strategic Communications Unit, Ministry of Information and Civic Education. Good morning, Bami. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sheku. I'm happy to be here.
It's all now set for the summit. You know, this morning, listening to some government officials, it seems as though finishing touches are already on the way. But it is unlikely that we'll be there 100%, especially for the presidential leaders. So the question is, how prepared is government to host this mid-year summit. ECOWAS and heads of state and government here in Sierra Leone.
Thank you very much, Brother Sheko. We understand clearly as a nation that it is a prestige, it's an opportunity to host member countries from the ECOWAS member states. For over 4 or 6 years, going to 50 years, we have never done that as a nation. So Sierra Leone is experiencing a unique opportunity, and we will not take it lightly. Bringing 15 member countries with heads of state and government to Sierra Leone, we have done quite a lot to ensure that we have the facility to host them. The first we all know is a public knowledge, is the $124 million project to run the entire exercise of summit, where we now have a whole international ultra-modern conference center built at Leone that will be commissioned on Saturday. But most importantly, with the logistic depot that is also designated in Sierra Leone, that will also be unveiled or commissioned on Saturday. But we have to have quite a number of, still in progress, this I'm talking, quite a number of presidential villas that will be built across Leone. This is also to ensure we have a very comfortable.
Are we talking about, because all of us know about the ECOWAS region, we have 15 countries. Mm-hmm. So even though, yes, it is now -3, mm-hmm. in fact -4, because the Mauritania mm-hmm. has been out, or even though the president of Mauritania is going to be here, he has been invited by not just a person but the chairman himself, mm-hmm. our president. Mm-hmm. So the Mauritania will be here, but then as a guest, as a special guest to His Excellency the President. So it is -4. Mm-hmm. And,
so
okay, yes.
Yeah. So what are we doing this time? We have a membership that we are going to maintain. The focus of the president is the chairman is to ensure that every other member that has gone out of the region before now is brought back to the region. So the very reason the special invitation you're talking about to the president of Mauritania was extended by the chairman, just because of the personal tete-a-tete that they got, and as a way of bringing them back to the region. So he's coming as a special guest. So even with that, we are going to have quite a number of heads of state and government that are part of the process currently and are going to be here in Sierra Leone. So I was talking about the $124 million spent very adequately
to host this conference.
To host this conference.
Mm-hmm. Is it coming from government, or do we have international partners supporting this, or development partners?
So there are a lot of comparison to the ECOWAS, to the OAU.
So I'm asking about the funding.
So that is why I want to put it in context.
No, we are not doing comparison to the OAU. We are now asking if the money that is being spent to host this conference, if it's coming from government, and if there are development partners who have supported this cause.
Okay, so no, the answer is no, it is not coming from government direct cover from Sierra Leone, no.
But Sierra Leone contributes.
So yes, Sierra Leone contributes 1.5 million from the GDP. So I wanted to put it in context so people understand. Please permit me. So in the OAU in 1980, 200 million was spent on the hosting of the OAU, and it was a direct resource from the government's cover, and plus 20% of the GDP directly from cover. But for this summit, it is really a PPP model, public-private partnership model, where Sierra Leone stands as a guarantor to the MC Bank to borrow money, right, to this private partner to construct the conference center, the depot, the presidential villa, and to run the entire summit. It is a guarantor, like Sierra Leone stands, but not touching the Sierra Leone's cover to run the schools, to run our hospitals, to run our businesses. That is not where Sierra Leone goes. In 1980, it was a direct money taken from the Sierra Leone
So,
cover.
Bami, let's focus on this conference and let's leave the 1980.
That is very important.
No, I know, but for now, let's pay attention to what is happening. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the direct economic benefits that Sierra Leone stands to gain as a nation by just hosting this summit.
Interesting. So now we are having on our own soil a conference center, an international conference center that will last beyond the 1 week summit. Means that Sierra Leone will have to have quite a number of conference exhibitions, conference tourism that people have to say, let's go to Sierra Leone. I think they have a very good conference center. That is an economic benefit to Sierra Leone. But most importantly, for local businesses, we have people that have hotels, people that have transport systems and other business areas, the ferries, and also they are going to benefit.
But I think that is the short-term benefit.
So I've given you long and short term.
What now, for example, you're making a comparative analysis, comparing what is happening now to what happened in 1980.
1980, yes, sir.
So, in fact, there is no way, when you forget your history, you are bound to continue making mistakes. Okay, now, the effect of 1980 was not felt immediately. You know, the effect, you know, came later. So what we are asking is that, what is the long-term benefits Sierra Leone stands to gain from this summit?
Yeah.
Now, for example, today, yes, I know the hotels are going to make money, the ferry, I mean, Jaji and the guy, Seabad and others. Yeah, that is the short-term benefit. What about the long-term?
So we talked about it quite a lot as a nation. We have learned from our mistakes. So the point we have made, 3 things we have put in place. One, that we have made sure the resources did not come directly from GDP, from our direct coffers. Second, that we have ensured that we cut down on expenditure. So if you put in comparative analysis, the $124 million in this current economy, if you relate it to 1980, it is really $30 million. And if you relate the $200 million spent in 1980 to now the economy is $801 million. So we have made sure we cut down considerably on expenditure. But most importantly,
you and I know. You and I know
that we are talking about different times.
No, you and I know that you know things keep evolving.
Yes, sir.
And inflation and all the rest of it. So there's no way you expect to buy what you bought 10 years ago, the same price, you know, today. It is not possible.
So that's
economically it is not sustainable.
Okay, so the argument is in my favor. So if the economy, if the inflation is rising all the time, means that this conference should have cost more than $1 billion. If the inflation you are arguing is really the case, because in 1980 they spent over $200 million on OAU, and in 2026 it's $124 million. Okay. So in quantifying them, please 1 minute, in quantifying them, you will see that if you want to go back to 1980, it is really $30 million right now, and if you want to bring 1980 to now, it is $801 million. 2 different things.
Okay.
But the most important thing, please, we have ensured, because of the evolution of time and everything, is going to follow strict financial management policy. Procurement-wise, the financial system is going to really be managed to ensure that it does not hit Sierra Leone's economy. So that is one important thing we have done.
So, Bami, the question I would love to ask is, now you are saying that Sierra Leone will benefit from this hugely from what we have. But let's talk about how local businesses. You are just talking about the hotels and the sea transportation owners and all the rest of it. But how many Sierra Leoneans will get a permanent job? Are you going to employ people because they are supposed to be employed as Sierra Leoneans, or are we only going to see people who are friends to people who are in government? So let's talk about the temporary jobs that this conference will provide for Sierra Leoneans.
That is a detailed question. I will put it in segments. There's going to be a short-term benefits because the conference itself is short-term. It's 1 week, right? Means we have to have a lot of people working in the hotels. Yeah, we have to have a lot of protocols that are there, security forces that have to have some permanent jobs. You know, we have security agencies that have to benefit from this. This is just short term, but also the local businesses you are talking. Yes, the ferry is a local business. They are going to benefit from that. The internal transport from Lunge is going to benefit from that. Quite a lot locally, but I also said internationally that because we are going to review ECOWAS itself as an institution. So because of that, there is going to be some structural arrangement where qualified Sierra Leoneans will now hand enviable positions in ECOWAS, and that is a long-term benefit. But most importantly, I will reiterate the facility that will be hosted in Sierra Leone that is now here will have to be on rental on international basis, and it has to attract tourism. So it's also a long-term benefit. So there are huge benefits economically. But I'll come to other benefits if you just permit me.
So Bami, we'll come back to you. You definitely have to tell us more about how
because I will talk about the democratic
how will government justify this spending amidst this high cost of living and economic challenges that we are facing in our country. But we'll definitely come back to you. That's a question for you. Just be thinking about it. We'll come back to you. This is Good Morning, Sierra Leone, and he is Bami Anthony. And he is from the Ministry of Information and Civic Education. And continue to stay with us while he is here to update us about the ongoing ECOWAS Summit hosted in Sierra Leone. We now go to another issue. Action Aid Sierra Leone is a leading social justice and development organization working with women, young people, and marginalized communities to advance gender equality, inclusive development, and sustainable livelihoods across the country. This morning, we are pleased to welcome the Executive Director of Action Aid Sierra Leone, Alhaji Fude Basiswari, who will share insight into the organization's work and impact, particularly its inclusive and youth-focused programming. The discussion will highlight the European Union-funded Youth Action for Good Governance and Self-Reliance YAGGS project, which is empowering young people to actively participate in governance, accountability, and community development. Recent publications on social media have highlighted the organization's partnership with Orange Sierra Leone Foundation through a memorandum of understanding focused on advancing digital inclusion for persons with disabilities. Well, good morning, Mr. Sware, and welcome to the SLBC. He is the Executive Director of Action Aid Sierra Leone. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Action Aid is a household name. Over the years, we've heard of Action Aid. For the benefit of those who are not privy to what you do, what does Action Aid stand for? What do you do? What are some of your activities?
So, thank you very much. Action Aid Sierra Leone is a member of the Global Federation of Action Aid, working for a world free from poverty and injustice. So, we believe that we want to see a just, fair, and sustainable world where everyone enjoys their right to a life of dignity, freedom from poverty and oppression. We want to ensure social justice, gender equality, and eradication of poverty. So we do so by working closely with people living in poverty, civil society organizations, and movements. So basically what we do, we position people living in poverty to take center stage in the development process. We ensure they have access to basic services, but we build their consciousness and strengthen their solidarity so that they can collectively hold state and institution accountable for the provision of public services. So largely this is what Action Aid is.
Okay, so I see in one of the things you do is to work with youth groups to empower them, and these of your actions are coming at a time when our youths are actually have come under scrutiny because of some of their activities, or because of some of the activities of some of us, even the parents. So what are you doing in the area to empower youth?
So we're doing a lot of stuff, so I just want to narrow down to be much more specific. So for us, in the current strategy that we have, Action in Sierra Leone, we have a 5-year strategy. We started in 24. Actually, we are in the midway now, implementing that strategy. We call it Transformative Action for Inclusive, Resilient, and Sustainable Communities. So we made sure we have positioned women and young people, as part of to drive the transformation, to drive the change we require in that strategy. So realizing, I mean, being here for so long, it's actually been here since 1988, and understanding the contextual issues, we quite very much positioned to understand issues of young people, and we felt we needed to make a deliberate commitment in the current strategy to make sure we center the issue of young people in the current strategy that we implement. So it has to do with how do we ensure, we harness the power of young people to drive this change, to drive this transformation, in Sierra Leone. So what we are doing largely is around providing the necessary capacity for young people, train them, providing the skills to be able to contribute meaningfully in the communities where they live. But also with support from the European Union through this project you just mentioned called Youth Action for Good Governance and Self-Reliance. It's basically to see how do we empower young people, especially marginalized young people, young women, and those living with disability to actively, contribute to governance and decision-making processes, but also become self-reliant and be able to participate and contribute to development processes in their communities.
Okay, now, Mr. Swagi, let us talk now. There is this EU-funded Youth Action for Good Governance and Self-Reliance. Good governance. When it comes to politicking or politics, the youth are largely involved. They are the ones, I don't know, because they are so exuberant, so they are the ones you see all over the place. When it comes to campaign or rallies, they are the ones you see. But then the actual participation of young people in governance, probably over the years, it has been a lip service. In fact, according to the TRC report, among the recommendations in that TRC report is that at every level of governance, of decision making, the youth must have a place. And that place is 10%. That is what the TRC report recommends. But then do you really see youth, positively participating in governance or in our country's democracy for the right things?
So give a simple answer. I would say, we've seen a lot of interest, young people, beyond politics, because governance is not just about politics.
Politics is key.
It's key, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So beyond politics itself, we've seen a lot of interest in young people. We've seen a lot of youth focus or youth-led, basically, let me say youth-led organizations that are emerging every day from communities. And these are organizations that are advancing the interest of young people. We've seen instances where young people are engaging the local councils, local authorities, and other stakeholders in their communities, in their district, requesting or demanding for meaningful action, meaningful change, in their lives. We've seen also young people, as you mentioned, they are participating in politics, even though the space sometimes for participation of young people is somehow tight because of access to resources.
Now, the politicians take advantage of the youth question. So that's what they do is that yes, they participate. So that's why the question is, Mr. Swagi, are they really participating? Are they really participating, meaningfully or positively?
So that's why part of this project is to see how do we ensure we provide them first the skills. So if you look at this project that we are implementing, we have a three-pronged approach. First, we want to strengthen youth-led and youth-focused civil society organization. We want to see how civil society, those youth-led civil society organizations are able to understand policy issues and be able to lead advocacy initiatives. Sometimes young people want to participate, but they don't understand, how they need to participate. Or sometimes sometimes maybe because of the policy, the restrictions or the space is not there.
Okay, you earlier spoke about social justice.
Social justice.
And exactly. Exclusion is social injustice.
It's an injustice.
It's social injustice.
So that's what I'm saying. So we deliberate around strengthening the civil society to be able to lead that change. So we also, the other approach we're using is to strengthen the youth structures. the district youth councils, the children youth council, because those are the mechanisms through which young people are participating and contributing to government.
But then you also provide we also provide business work.
We also provide skills training.
No, the training is
economic empowerment for young people as well.
Do you also provide political education?
Of course, definitely.
Or probably want to say,
so
we are
okay,
NGOs.
This project
is talking politics.
Part of this project is we have a big civic empowerment component of this project. You know, it has a big civic empowerment where we are training young people. Those youth structures I just mentioned, whether youth council, district youth council, children youth council, civil society organization, you know, we are giving them the skills
but then,
to understand.
Somebody wants to ask. Action Aid, yes, they have this project on governance, you know, youth participation in governance. But then, because they are an NGO, are they shy to talk politics? You know, so because this is about governance, and politics has politics.
First, let me say this: we are. For me, we are well positioned to discuss governance issues. We are 100% local, national, so Action Aid. So it gives us that legitimacy to discuss and challenge some of those issues.
Okay.
We know the politics shape the governance of the country, so we are not shying away from that. So that's why we are giving the skills for young people to participate in politics. And this is something we've been doing over the years. When it comes to election, our focus as Action has always, how do we empower young people and women, first to lead our civic empowerment processes, talk to communities, you know, understand what their rights as citizens, but also how do they encourage their young people
do you also provide,
to actively participate in the political process, but also so we don't.
Because the thing is, now in our politics, Mr. Swahili, we see that our politics is. Yes, we are
so what we are doing, we provide the enabling environment. We provide the skills. We provide the other opportunities. For example, I tell you a bigger component of this project that with support from the European Union, which we are implementing in Mayamba, Tonkola, and Western area, in partnership with Center for Coordination and Youth Activity. That's to provide the skills training for young people, because we believe, you know, if they get those skills, they'll be able to live, a life of dignity, become self-reliance, and be able to contribute to, you know, development process in the community. We are also heavily going to support Children Youth Council. We're providing them a grant, with financial grant equivalent of like 2,000 euros.
Because the reason
so not specifically giving them resources to go and engage in politics, but also we are building their capacity and enhancing their skills.
The reason I was asking about the governance processes, the reason I was asking about financial support, in fact, that is what is affecting largely women. And even the young people, you know, yes, we talk democracy.
Absolutely.
But if you look at how the democracy is, you know, you can see, you know, a semblance of a plutocracy. If you don't have money, you cannot survive in this space.
So, you know? I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. And for us, it's not to say directly Action Aid. We give money to go, even in instances where we support women, female candidates, because for us we are biased towards women issues. When it comes to election, we also support instances across, doesn't matter the political party where those women belong. We've supported women. We ensure they have access to facilities, not necessarily giving them resources directly, but we ensure they have opportunities to be able to tap on and thrive and compete and become competitive in the political space.
Alhaji Swahili, let's talk about how do you survive amidst this global situation that we have. Funding difficult to come by, especially from international donors, and Action Aid, I want to believe you largely depend on your partners, not only in Sierra Leone but other parts of the world. How has it been going with Action Aid in that area?
So I think this is a good question you ask, and it's affecting our work. You all are aware some big international NGOs that used to operate in Sierra Leone, they closed down sometime last year to early this year. It's affecting all of us, and for us the good thing is we rely on two sources of funding. We're receiving funding from what we call through child sponsorship, that's through what we call voluntary giving. People support us in Europe, or other parts contributing to our work. That allows us to do to do our advocacy. We see Action doing advocacy and campaign work because of those resources, that we are receiving. We also get through partnership funding like the European Union, Leone, through Irish Aid, other, the UN agencies, UNICEF, UNFPA, UN, etc. But it's something that is effective. But for us, what we are doing over the years, I think through what we call strategic foresight, we knew this was going to happen. So what we tried to do to see how first of all, we try to what we call to reorganize ourselves, and we operate in 7 districts, our traditional districts. We used to have like 7 offices. In each of those offices, you have like 5 full-time staff, a vehicle, an office space, and so we knew this was coping. So over the years, what we did was we say, can we work more? We leverage on the expertise, the strength of the local partner organization that we work with over there. Some actually form and nurture them. Say, let's give more responsibility. So in those districts, we shut down our offices. We transfer more responsibility to the local partners. The local partners are driving the project. So as much as the resources that comes to us, the resource envelope has shrunk over the years, but we take solace the fact that we are able to channel more resources to local partners.
Okay. Now, are you in any way, Mr. Swari, are you in any way affected by Donald Trump's? Donald Trump's aid block.
So not directly, because we didn't have any U.S. funded project in Sierra Leone. We didn't have, but I know a number of our colleagues in other Action Aid countries that have been affected. Even other organizations in Sierra Leone have been affected. So we are not directly affected by the decision taken by the leadership of the United States of America, but it has affected our work, how NGOs operate.
Right.
I think what we're trying to do now is to see how do we adapt, because now donors don't want to take high administrative expenses. And if you look at first, the advantage we have, as always say, we have local staff, we have a national contract, so it's a local contract that we have.
All right, Mr. Swari.
So we spend less on our operating costs. We work more with local partner organization, and we spend less on administrative.
Before we allow you to rest, in 2 years' time, you turn 40 in Sierra Leone, am I right?
Yes. 40.
So, where do you think Action Aid will be 40 years of operating in Sierra Leone?
So 40 years of operating in Sierra Leone, we want to see Action Aid continue to thrive and building a strong movement. That's what we are trying to do now. Strong movement that will drive the transformation movement rooted from communities of women, young people that are demanding accountability from state and its institutions, particularly for the provision of public services. So we want to see an Action Aid that continues to empower, young people, continue to empower and shape the civil, contribute to shaping or building the civil societies in our organization.
All right, thank you very much. He is Alhaji Fudibasi Swari, and he is Executive Director of Action Aid Sierra Leone. Continue to stay with us in the program, and if you have questions to send to Action Aid, just send them to the number on your screen or go to our Facebook page. We have Mr. Swari in the studio. He will definitely answer your questions. Well, it's now time for us to take a break, and after that break, we will deal with agriculture.
As a mother of the house, whenever I want to prepare palm soup, there's no need pounding palm fruit. All I need is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. My soup is done, and its preparation, it is not difficult at all. Nkulenu palm soup base, it's easily done with no difficulties. Just take few ladles and your soup is done. And its flavor, it's amazing. This is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. And this is Nkulenu's Ghana's original spiced palm soup base. Iron fruits and turkey berries are naturally added.
Also available Brown Gold Natural Cocoa Powder, Sunny Gold Brown Sugar, Neat Fufu Flour, Shito, Pisa, and Moringa. All available at Nyami Ado Enterprise, 1 Lower Waterloo Street, Freetown.
Nkulenu palm soup base.
Ghanaian original taste.
It's Good Morning, Sierra Leone live on TV, and you are invited to be part of the program. You can send your comments and views to the number on your screen or go to our Facebook page, snbc.sl. Well, check it's now time for us to find out what's happening in the government's lead agenda item, which is to feed salon.
Well, you know, Feed Salon is an ambitious program because it goes beyond a project. It is a program. It is a government program, and I think government has really released funds to ensure that things happen, and it is ongoing. You know, agriculture is not an event; it is a process, and the processes of ensuring that food security is assured. The processes are ongoing. However, there are challenges. But then we keep on talking about the challenges, and we look at ways out of whatever difficult situation. Now, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security office in Kono District has visited a 56 hectares rice farm cultivated by ETS Diving Rivers Agro Investments at Dando Village, Bayafe section in Bensechibdom, Kono District. According to the technical team from the ministry, the visit was to inspect, evaluate, and confirm the nature of work undertaken by ETS at its Dandado farm site, where the CEO of the investment, Joseph Raymond Sandy, said he wants to use his engineering expertise to invest in agriculture with a broad plan vision 2035 to complement government's efforts on the Feed Salon initiative while seeking their support to boost their work. Well, in the studios to talk more on this is CEO of the ETS Diving Rivers Agro Investment, Joseph Raymond Sandy. Good morning, Mr. Sandy, and welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, sir, and thank you for having me.
Well, you are the benefactor of this visit by the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to your farm in Bensechibdom, Kono District. Now, in the first place, what do you have to say about the visit? Why do you think your farm or your organization or your initiative attracted officials from the Ministry of Agriculture?
Okay, thank you very much. First, we are very happy with the visit, and the visit is timely because we started the ETS Divine Rivers Agro Investment, started operations last year, 2025. We did a farm in the same area, Dandando, Benson Chiefdom. We cultivated last year 45 hectares of rice. And this year we approached the Ministry of Agriculture and told them we've been doing this, and this aligns with the President's agenda for Feed Salon. So we invited them to visit the farm so we can also be beneficiaries of whatever the government is giving out to farmers or to support the Feed Salon. As it stands to date, we are doing this on our own. It's self-funded, and so that's why the visit is really timely, and we appreciate it.
But then, did they promise you of support? Because a high-powered team from the Ministry of Agriculture visited a farm that has done so well. The expectation, or among expectations, will be, I'm going to receive some support from government. Are you giving that assurance?
Well, it's a process. I believe they will support eventually. We're pushing for that. But that assurance has not been given 100% because according to them, the first thing is you have to be in their database. So when you're in their database, and this visit is confirming of setting us in their database because we reported this to them, giving all our photos, giving them our records, our documents, but they needed to verify for themselves.
But initially I kept on saying diving because I saw
it's divine.
Divine. Now divine. In the first place, let's talk about this one, divine. How did you reach at
the name?
The name, yes.
Okay, it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm a Christian, and if you see the initial before ETS, it's an acronym. It's actually remembering or commemorating. It's it's the name of my father. He did so well in bringing up the ETS. It means Eric T. Sandy, Eric Tamasani.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so we actually, the intention of the family, we have to get to the ETS foundation. But that's a long-term plan. So now, ETS, divine rivers means, divine means it's coming from God. Rivers means something that never stops flowing. So that's how the name came about, divine rivers. So just added the ETS to it.
But then the climate change can dry up rivers.
No, once God is within, that's why the divine.
The effect of climate change, you know.
We're working on that, working around that. That's why we coordinate. The divine is actually making sure God is in charge.
So it means you have a very proper irrigation system, right?
We're working on that. We have series of plans. And this is not just a portfolio farm, or it's not something we just set up because we know President's agenda is this, we want to catch up something. This is something we've planned along the time. That's why we even have a vision 2035, which go beyond this President's time in office. And this is for our own future. We're planning this, and this is something we've dealt with seriously. So even the irrigation is part of our portfolio programs. And we have a lot of things we put in place to make sure this vision never fails.
So now, that has talk. Now, your farm is in Bense. Bense Kingdom, Kono District. In the first place, how did you decide on Bense? Because there are other chiefdoms in Kono.
Yes.
Why did you decide to operate in Bense Chiefdom?
Okay. To answer that question, the first thing is it's because of proximity to the market. Bense. Everybody knows Kono as a diamond city. People are into mining, not much of agriculture. But again, fortunately, the soil is very, very fertile, as other soils around Kono district. But we choose Bensen because access to the market. The farmers, you see, it's not up to 10 minutes from the center of Kogi town. So the kind of investment we're doing, we have to access market. If we go further in, it will be difficult. Some of our produces will be difficult to reach the market. So that's the reason why we choose Bensen as a center.
All right. Thank you very much. Continue to stay with us. Well, we have some messages coming on our Facebook page, and we'll come back to you after the messages. And these are coming for Action Aid. This was 218 to Action Aid. How does your inclusive support translate into meaningful opportunities for persons with disabilities, particularly those in undeserved rural and communities? What evidence demonstrates that your programs are genuinely inclusive and accessible? This is one question. And another one from Alhaji Bangali. Please allow the guest, to elaborate for the people to understand the project and its impact to the youth. And another one, Action Aid, transparency and accountability, right holders focused. So, Mr. Sware, these are some of the questions coming for you. We have to come to you, or let's just give you the chance to respond to some of the questions.
Thank you. Just maybe the one around our inclusive program. I think it's something we are very much deliberate about, and something we are aware. And the good thing also, we have a board that is very much passionate about inclusion. So even when we report to the board on a quarterly basis, they ask us for the data, the evidence. How many, not just how many women, how many men or young people or children we are reaching, but they're also asking us to provide data and evidence for how many persons or people we are reaching, people living with disability. So that tells you, at the highest level of our governance process, we are also very much concerned. So we very much aware of the marginalization, particularly for people living with disability in such circumstances. So we take very much deliberate effort in reaching out, and for the EU project, I think we've made ourselves a certain commitment to reach a certain percent of persons living with disability for every program that I do, whether it has to be software through workshop, capacity building. We have a percentage, a quota. We need to reach this number of persons living with disability. In some contexts, it's quite challenging to get those numbers, but that's why we make our own deliberate efforts, reaching out, working with organizations of persons with disability to help us in identifying and directly targeting those people. So we are very much deliberate when it comes to working with persons living with disability.
So how many districts are you operating in?
So we operating in our traditional district, 7 districts, you know, but for this particular European Union funded project is in Moyamba, Tonkolili, and in Western Rural. But we also have a program in Cambia, which are traditional, of course. That's where actually started operations. We are in Bombali and Karine, of course. We are in Kono in the east. We also have a program in Moyamba and in Bo. And through our donor-funded project, we have also expanded our program, like, for example, in Bujang, with support from UNFPA, Koinodugu, and the rest.
Correct.
But our traditional districts are those 7 districts where we have long-term program through what we call our child sponsorship program.
All right, thank you very much, Alaji. Continue to stay with us. When we go back to you, Mr. Sandy, you were talking about your farm when we had these messages. So now let's talk about how have you been able to create employment opportunities for youth living in that community where the farm is operating?
Yes, employment has been one of the key areas because we approach the community, and when we want to do like the manual labor or every other thing, we employ like weeding. It's done by all the women in the community. Then we have a lot of youth. Like on a daily basis, we have close to between 40 to 60 women from different communities.
Okay.
They work and we pay them on a daily basis. We
Okay.
provide transportation and we also provide lunch during the working hours. And at the end of the day, we pay them.
All right.
So we continue. So.
Okay, continue to stay with us. We go back to you, Bami. You know, before we allowed you to rest in, there was a question, and I hope you have been thinking around it. My question was, how will government justify the money that they use for this ECOWAS summit amidst financial challenges in the country and also the high cost of living?
Oh, thank you very much. And I think I landed safely on saying that this time around we have very stringent financial management system in place because, as my brother rightly said, time evolves. So, in maybe 46 years ago, there are not too strong financial management systems. So now I said we have very strong ones, and the procurement process is going to be meticulous, and it's going to be on the stage of international level. So yes, we are going to make sure we are answerable to every financial issue that will come up, but I think they will not come up because we have a very strong system in place.
Okay, let's talk about some of the outcomes that Sierra Leone hope to achieve,
Good.
especially on regional peace and also democracy, trade and security, especially on Yenga.
That's the reason I like it. And we have to put this into context. Permit me 2 minutes. The chairman now, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, had 4 major priorities for his tenure as chairman. First is to restore constitutional order and deepen democracy. So when he came as chairman, there was an issue, for example, with our sister country here, Guinea, where we had a military coup that took over governance. So he made sure with serious bilateral engagement, he restored constitutional order through elections. And now we have an elected president there. He's also talking to our brothers in the Sahel region, the Burkina Faso and other countries. Of course, my brother mentioned Mauritania, that are coming back to the region. So that is the kind of democracy he's taking.
So you have a question.
I am coming.
The question is just coming in. Maybe it should be part of the,
you can go ahead.
Answers that you're giving. This one is saying, as ECOWAS continues to champion regional integration and inclusive development, what concrete measures have government put in place to ensure that this summit is genuinely inclusive for persons with disabilities? For example, are sign language interpreters available throughout the proceedings, a key summit document provided in Braille and other accessible formats, and what steps are being taken to ensure that no one is excluded from meaningful participation.
I have to say a word before I continue this. In my opening paragraph, I said the chairman inherited a region that is faced with a lot of issues, including democracy issues, the military coup, the terrorism, and some form of exclusion. Maybe there comes in inclusivity, right? So this summit is not the magic that will fix everything at a go. This summit is to see how this 1 year period of the chairmanship of His Excellency Julius Maada Bio will shape and correct some of these abnormalities that have been set. I will not guarantee that in this summit everything of inclusivity will be achieved, but I'm saying this will be a stepping stone to lay the blocks for us to achieve them as we go ahead. But I'll continue with the priority areas of the chairman. When I said democracy and constitutional order, of course, he said we revitalize the regional security cooperation. The very reason we have seen the logistic depot in Sierra Leone that was signed an agreement reached sometimes in 2005, but it's now put into practical terms in Sierra Leone. That's what. So when I say logistic depot for listeners and viewers watching, it is really a security base for ECOWAS, where major military ammunition will be settled, and where trainings will be taking place for security issues. And of course, a lot of security issues will be settled there. Sierra Leone is hosting that. But also, the president said he will unlock regional economic integration. That is where the economic aspect comes in. We know the core factor of the core reason for the formation of ECOWAS is for economic reasons. But over the period, we've seen quite a number of challenges there and there.
How about the issue of Koindu? Is it going to be used to have the Koindu market also?
Yeah, so now to solve that problem, the chairman has proposed a very huge summit, especially for that. It's called the Regional Economic Investment Summit that will come very soon in October. And
it's going to be hosted in Senegal.
So the special convoy is really the Dr. Yumkela that will be stepping in for that to ensure that also that reception.
Now, but quickly, before we leave,
I was going to call the last one.
Which one is that?
Well, the last one is really to strengthen ECOWAS institutions. There I said the long-term investment in the jobs and other things. So we have to strengthen the ECOWAS itself as an institution. So the area of that color, that text that I said, if there's going to be an inclusive type of thing. But to really answer his question, for the Ministry of Civic Education, we'll have this covered.
Be the case. So how do you really think this regional integration is working?
Okay, so I'll gladly tell you that for over 40 years, Sierra Leone has really been driven as a member state, and we have not taken leadership by ourselves. So now we are taking leadership as a nation. These are the things that we'll put in place, especially when it comes to looking at the institution as ECOWAS itself.
Right.
So there is clear challenges concerning the movements of people and trade within 90 days, as you rightly said. But these are the issues that the chairman and the president now will look into to ensure it's stabilized.
All right, thank you very much, Bami Anthony. Well, quickly we go to newspapers. We go through the headlines of the local newspapers. I start with the Echo newspaper. Ahead of APC constituency elections, JFK takes over. Over constituency elections delay, APC blames PPRC. These and more you find in the Echo.
Well, from there I move on to the Standard Times, and the Standard Times says coalition of former presidents' wives pays tribute to Henry Touré. Well, there are other Parliament comments constructive dialogue with all oil marketing companies. These stories and more you can see in the Standard Times.
From the Standard Times, we go to the Roll Call Express. Former President Nkrumah medical treatment, or exile. These stories plus more you find in the roll call newspaper.
Now, the Calabash newspaper says NCIA assures APC more guarantors of credible civil and voter registration process. These and more other stories you can see in the Calabash newspaper.
And my final paper for today is the Satellite newspaper. Satellite newspaper, as Mavericks mislead public, NASIT delivers outstanding investment returns. This goes with a picture of the Director General of NASIT. These stories plus more you will find in the Satellite newspaper.
And now the Africa 24 newspaper says electric stoves are still uncommon in Sierra Leone. Well, this story and more you can see in Africa 24. And that is how we say goodbye. Many thanks to our guest here this morning, Mr. Basi Swagi and
Alhaji.
Alhaji, yes, Alhaji. Yes, quite recently I saw him in Mecca.
Yes.
Congratulations on you becoming Alhaji, Mr. Swagi. Thank you so much for your good work in this country over the years. Thank you so much, Epami, from the Ministry of Information and Civic Education, and also our farmer from Ben's Children, and for what he is doing. That is how we say goodbye. Many thanks to the entire production team, especially producer Daphne Zana Kamal. I am Sheku Smiler saying goodbye and have a pleasant day.
And my name is Francis Ballard. Thanks to all our guests and even to you at home, in your offices and other places or wherever you watch the program for. Do have a lovely and wonderful day. Good morning.
As a mother of the house, whenever I want to prepare palm soup, there's no need pounding palm fruit. All I need is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. My soup is done, and its preparation, it is not difficult at all. Nkulenu palm soup base, it's easily done with no difficulties. Just take few ladles and your soup is done. And its flavor, it's amazing. This is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. And this is Nkulenu's Ghana's original spiced palm soup base. Iron fruit and turkey berries are naturally added.
Also available brown gold natural cocoa powder, sunny gold brown sugar, neat fufu flour, shito, pisap and moringa. All available at Nyami Ado Enterprise, 1 Lower Waterloo Street, Freetown.
Nkulenu palm soup base.
Ghanaian original taste.